The calendar on the kitchen wall marked just 14 days until departure. I stared at the bright circle around June 15th, the day Ellen and I were supposed to leave for our 2-week tour of Italy, a dream vacation we'd planned since our honeymoon. The tickets, neatly tucked in a drawer beside our passports, symbolized more than just travel. They were a fresh start after a rocky year. "Jack, have you seen my blue folder?" Ellen's voice, light and airy, drifted from the office across the hall. I turned from the calendar. "Isn't it in your desk? Where you keep all your documents?" A soft laugh followed. "Right. Silly me." She appeared in the doorway, her hair pulled back in a messy bun that somehow still looked effortlessly charming. As she vanished back into the office, I pulled the drawer open, my hand brushing against the envelopes containing our tickets and passports. A sense of unease settled over me, something felt off. I chalked it up to pre-vacation jitters. Later, as the sun set, we sat down for dinner. Ellen seemed distracted, her eyes often distant. I reached across the table, covering her hand with mine. "Hey, is everything okay? You seem miles away." She jolted slightly, then smiled. "Just busy at work." "Sorry, Jack. I'm all here now." But the following morning, she wasn't. I awoke to an empty bed, her side cold, an indentation on the pillow her only trace. I figured she'd gone for an early jog. But as hours turned into a full day without a word from her, panic set in. Her phone went straight to voicemail, texts remained unanswered. Frantic, I went to the drawer to grab our passports, thinking I could track her last movements through credit card transactions for any recent bookings. But the drawer was bare, passports, tickets, even her personal files were gone. The next few days were a blur of police reports, calls to friends, and sleepless nights. Each passing moment twisted the knife of betrayal deeper when the truth came out. A mutual friend, hesitant at first, revealed that Ellen had been seeing someone else. They had left together for Italy, using the very tickets I had bought for our anniversary trip. The revelation shattered me. Devastation morphed into anger, and then into a cold resolve. Ellen had chosen her path, deceit over our vows. I would choose mine, retribution. At the lawyer's office, the papers felt heavy in my hands. Each signature was both a strike against her betrayal and a severing of the life we had built together. I filed for divorce, citing infidelity, ensuring the proceedings would be swift and exposing her actions. "I can't believe she would do this," I murmured as I signed the last document, the weight of my wedding ring suddenly oppressive. The lawyer, a stoic man with sharp eyes, handed me a copy of the papers. "It's done. I'm sorry you had to go through this, Jack." As I left his office, the world seemed both starkly real and strangely distant. Ellen had broken our life together, and I had ensured we would never see each other again. The journey ahead would be mine alone, and as I stepped into the chill of the late afternoon, I felt the first stir of what could be freedom, or just the cold embrace of solitude. The city's relentless bustle seems to mirror the chaos inside me as I wander aimlessly through the streets. It's been a week since I signed the divorce papers, and the numbness is gradually giving way to a burning need for answers. How long had Ellen been planning this? Who was the man who helped shatter my world? A chance encounter interrupts my brooding. As I pass a familiar cafe, I spot Mike, an old friend from college, who also happens to be a private investigator. "Jack!" Mike waves, spotting me from his window seat. He gestures for me to join him. Reluctantly, I comply, sliding into the chair opposite him. "Man, you look like hell," he says, his brow furrowed in concern. "Heard about Ellen?" "I'm sorry, buddy." I nod, my throat tight. "Thanks, Mike. It's been rough." He sips his coffee, then sets it down, fixing me with a serious look. "If you need anything, you know I'm here." Anything at all. A desperate idea forms in my mind. Actually, there's something. I want to find out everything. About her affair, the guy, their plans. Mike leans back, assessing me with sharp eyes. "You sure?" knowing more might just hurt more. I need to know, Mike. I can't move on otherwise. He nods slowly, understanding. Okay. I'll help. But we do this my way, Jack. No rash moves. Gratitude washes over me. Thank you. Leaving the cafe, I feel a mixture of relief and dread. Mike's connections could unearth the painful truth, but I am resolved to face whatever comes. The following day, Mike calls me to an upscale gym in the city's business district. This is where he works out, he whispers as we stand inconspicuously by a set of treadmills. Who, her lover? I ask, scanning the room. Yeah. Name's Daniel. Works in finance, downtown. Seems they met at a conference a year ago. As if on cue, a tall man with striking blonde hair enters. His confident stride and athletic build confirm Mike's information. He is exactly Ellen's type. We need to talk to him, I murmur, my fists clenching. Not yet, Mike counters firmly. Follow my lead, Jack. We trail Daniel after his workout, keeping a safe distance as he stops at a nearby coffee shop. Seizing the moment, Mike nudges me. Now, watch how it's done. He approaches Daniel casually, striking up a conversation about the gym and slowly weaving in inquiries about his work. Daniel, unsuspecting, chats freely, revealing enough for Mike to nod subtly at me, confirming his identity. Back outside, my emotions are a whirlwind of anger and relief. What now? I ask, my voice hoarse. Now, Mike says, checking his watch, we dig deeper. I have a friend in the finance sector who can help. We'll get to the bottom of this, Jack. As we part ways, the city's noise resumes its overwhelming roar around me. Armed with a name and a face, the path forward is clearer but no less daunting. The answers I seek are just within reach, and with them, perhaps a chance to finally start over. The glare of the afternoon sun reflects off the towering glass buildings of the financial district as I make my way to the office where Mike's contact works. The urgency in my steps matches the racing thoughts in my mind. Today, I'm hoping to uncover the financial dealings between Ellen and her lover, Daniel. If there's a trail of money linking them, it could explain a lot about their clandestine plans. I reach the sleek office building, its lobby buzzing with the hum of busy professionals. At the reception, I give the name Mike provided, Linda Carter. Moments later, a woman in her late 40s, with a keen, calculating gaze, approaches me. Jack, right? Mike told me you'd be coming. Follow me, Linda says in a no-nonsense tone, leading me through a maze of bustling cubicles to her office, a room with a view over the city skyline. Once the door is closed, Linda sits behind her desk, her demeanor all business. Mike explained a bit about your situation. What exactly are you looking to find out? I take a deep breath, laying it all out. I need to know if Daniel has made any large transactions or financial commitments recently, particularly anything that might involve my wife, Ellen. Linda nods, her fingers flying over her keyboard as she accesses secure databases. Screens flash with graphs and numbers as she mutates into a detective of digits. Let's see what we can find. Minutes tick by with the tension of a ticking bomb. Finally, Linda points to a line item on the screen. Here we go. Looks like a substantial amount was transferred from an account under Daniel's name to a joint account. I can't see the second holder's name without more access, but the timing coincides with your wife's disappearance. My heart pounds at the implication. Can we find out more about that joint account? I'll need a few more hours to dig deeper, she replies, her eyes already back on her computer. Can you meet later today? Absolutely, I respond, the pieces of the betrayal assembling into a clearer picture. Late evening finds me back in Linda's office, the city lights a sprawling network below. She greets me with a somber look. I have the information you were looking for. The joint account is shared between Daniel and a woman. I confirmed the second holder is Ellen. The confirmation hits like a physical blow. Is there anything that shows what the money was used for? Actually, yes, Linda continues, her tone careful. It looks like it was used to purchase property here and in Italy. Looks like a getaway plan. Betrayal and cold calculation churn within me, propelling me into action. Thank you, Linda. I need to take this to my lawyer. Can you print out everything we found becoming? Of course, she says, already gathering the papers. With documents in hand, I step out into the night, the city's chill mirroring the frost in my veins. As I head towards my lawyer's office, the reality sets in. Ellen and Daniel had planned a life together, funded by deceit. But I'm not a spectator in their scheme. The game changes now, and I'm making my move. As I pass by the bright lights and indifferent faces of the city, my resolve hardens. Ellen may have started this with her secrets and lies, but I am going to end it on my terms. The papers from Linda sit heavy in my briefcase as I step into my lawyer's office. The walls, lined with books and framed diplomas, seem to close in on me as the realization of what I'm about to do fully hits. My lawyer, Mr. Grant, a silver-haired man with sharp eyes, motions for me to sit. So, Jack, he begins, tapping his pen against his desk, you found some evidence. I nod, sliding the documents across the desk. Everything's there. Transfers, property purchases, proof that Ellen and Daniel planned everything. They were going to use my money to build a new life together. Mr. Grant scans the papers, his expression hardening. This will certainly expedite the divorce proceedings. The courts won't take kindly to her actions. That's not enough, I say, my voice low but firm. I want them both to pay. I want to ruin them like they ruined life together. Mr. Grant looks at me, considering. There are legal ways to go after Daniel too. Civil suits, defamation, even criminal charges if we can prove fraud. But it will take time. I'm willing to wait, I say, the venom in my words surprising even me. I'm not walking away until I see them both suffer. As I leave the office, my mind is whirling. The legal process could take months, even years. But the satisfaction of watching their lives unravel bit by bit seems worth the wait. The next few weeks are a blur of meetings with Mr. Grant, tracking Daniel's every move through Mike, and preparing for the court hearings. It feels like a game of chess, each move calculated to box them in, to strip away their newfound happiness. Then, one day, Mike calls me with a lead that sends a chill down my spine. Jack, I found something you need to see. Meet me at my office. Mike's office is a small, cluttered space in a building far from the glitz of the financial district. When I arrive, he hands me a manila envelope. Inside are photos, grainy, taken from a distance, but clear enough to see Ellen and Daniel at an upscale restaurant. But there's something else. Another man joins them in several photos. He's older, with a stern face and sharp features. The way he interacts with Ellen is familiar. Too familiar. Who is that? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper, dread creeping in. Mike hesitates, then sighs. That's Robert Blake. Ellen's father. The room seems to spin as the pieces start to fall into place. But Ellen told me her father was dead. He died years ago. Mike shakes his head. It was a lie, Jack. I did some digging. Blake is very much alive and has a hand in some less-than-legal enterprises. It looks like he was the one who funded Ellen and Daniel's escape plan, using your money as a cover. The truth slams into me like a freight train. Ellen's betrayal wasn't just about infidelity. It was something darker, more calculated. She had planned this with her father all along, using Daniel as a pawn. Or was Daniel in on it too? My chest tightens with rage and disgust. She used me, for money, for everything. Mike nods solemnly. I'm sorry, Jack. It's worse than just cheating. They were going to bleed you dry and leave you with nothing. I clench my fists, feeling the blood pound in my temples. I want to confront them. Both of them. Mike grabs my arm, stopping me. Be careful, Jack. These people, Ellen's father especially, they are dangerous. We need to play this smart. I shrug him off. No, This ends now. Driven by fury, I make my way to the upscale apartment where Ellen and Daniel have been hiding. The door swings open to my pounding, and there she is, Ellen, looking startled but not afraid. Behind her, Daniel emerges, his face a mixture of anger and confusion. "Jack, what the hell are you doing here?" Ellen snaps, her tone icy. I step inside, ignoring her question. "I know everything, Ellen. About the money, the properties, your father. All of it." Her eyes widen for just a fraction of a second before she regains her composure. "You don't understand." "No," I interrupt, my voice shaking with rage. "I understand perfectly. You never loved me. You and your father just saw me as a meal ticket, someone to use and discard." Daniel steps forward, trying to play the tough guy. "You need to leave, Jack. Now." I laugh bitterly, shaking my head. "You're in over your head, Daniel. Do you even realize what you've gotten yourself into? Ellen and her father are using you too." Ellen glares at me, but there's a flicker of fear in her eyes now. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Don't I?" I step closer, invading her space. "Your father's little empire is about to come crashing down. I've already handed everything over to the authorities. You're done, Ellen. Both of you." Ellen's mask finally cracks. "You think you can just destroy us? You don't know what we're capable of." "Neither do you," I say coldly. "The authorities will take care of your father. But you're nothing to me now. You destroyed everything we had, and for what? Money? A life with this idiot?" Daniel's face reddens, but before he can say anything, I turn and walk out the door, slamming it behind me. The sound echoes in the hallway, a final, irrevocable break. Outside, the night air is cool, calming the storm of emotions inside me. I breathe deeply, the realization settling in that it's over. Ellen is gone from my life, her web of lies and deceit fully unraveled. In the days that follow, news breaks of Robert Blake's arrest and the collapse of his empire. Ellen and Daniel disappear from the city, but it doesn't matter anymore. I've won, but it's a hollow victory. The woman I once loved is nothing more than a ghost, a memory tainted by betrayal. As I stand on the balcony of my new apartment, looking out over the city, I realize that this chapter of my life is truly closed. The hatred I feel for Ellen will fade with time, but the scars she left will remain. We'll never see each other again, and I'm finally at peace with that. The game they played is over, and in the end, the only thing left is the silence of the night and the promise of a new beginning, alone, but free.